Hello everyone and welcome to Campus Channel. I'm here with Toulouse School of Management and we're going to be talking about the Bachelor of Science in Global Management. Here with us today, I have the honor to welcome the faculty head of the first year of the Bachelor in Global Management. She's called Fanny de Klerk. How are you, Fanny?
Fine, thanks so much for having us here.
Well, thank you for coming here. We also have the pleasure to welcome a student, a first year student, Natalia Brizzeno. How are you, Natalia?
Hello, thanks for having us. I'm very good today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Thank you for saying hello as well. You're right. Hello to you as well. And we have an alumni student. So she graduated from the Bachelor and she's now a Master in International Management students at the same school. She's called Farah Fatah. How are you, Farah?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm good, and you?
Well, I'm happy. I'm fine as well. Thank you for the three of you for coming. But first, we are going to start with the pitch. So the pitch is a 1-minute talk in which Fanny is going to tell us everything we need to know about this program. Are you ready, Fanny?
I am.
Well, then it's your turn.
So the Bachelor of Science in Global Management is a full-time, on-campus, 3-year program taught entirely in English. So this is a generalist undergraduate business program. So it will combine rigorous academic foundation with practical insight for practitioners. So it means that first we will introduce you to a range of ideas and theory in management. It can be general theory in management, such as management science, business ethics, global climate change, or entrepreneurship. But it can also be, and it will be, specific topics. And so in that case, you will gain an understanding of the responsible financial, strategic, organizational, and marketing context in which business takes place. And then what you will also learn is how to apply these theories to real-life problems via project, case studies, games, and guest speakers. And so after the Bachelor, students can continue towards the Master program or create their own business. This is it. Thanks.
All right on the clock. Perfect. Thank you for that. We'll dig into that a little bit more as the time goes on. But the first question is about admissions. What is an eCandidature, Fanny?
So first, all the application process will start in January 2022. And so what we are asking for our applicants is they will have to, in fact, we have two different channels. If you are a French bachelier, so if you have the French baccalaureate, you will have to apply via Parcoursup. So this is the French online application system. But if you do not hold or will hold a French baccalaureate, in that case, you will have to register on the TSM online application system. And so this is kind of a regular one. So you will have to submit your grades, your diploma, your ID, a copy of your ID passport, and also, of course, a CV. And you will have to record an interview.
Well, so you mentioned a CV. They're like very young people. So what are you expecting them to write on the CV?
So the point is just to speak about themselves in the way that they will be able to demonstrate that they really want to do management. So this is more about what in their experience, what in their hobbies, what in their perhaps kind of they could have visited a firm in different courses, in a museum, whatever could be. What demonstrates us that they really have the willingness to do management studies. So this is really open, and we will guide them. So we will have kind of a guideline and a format, framework just to follow.
All right, Natalia, maybe you could tell us more about this CV, because like you had to do it last year, so it was very fresh for you. How did it happen? What did you write on it? Could you tell us more about it?
Yes. So on my CV, I included my previous studies, my English, for example, my English studies, because I am originally from Venezuela. I was living in London by the time I applied, so I include all my language courses, my hobbies, previous volunteer experiences I had, And I would recommend to include that as a CV if you don't have any work experience itself.
All right. So what would you recommend then? I mean, if you don't have any work experience itself, you replace it by like personal experiences.
With
Yes, it would
your
be.
courses, it could be a language course, your hobbies, or maybe your dream job, I would include as well.
All right, dream job. That's a nice tips to have. Sorry, Fanny, you mentioned that the application would start on January 2022. On your website, it says that the right time may vary depending on the program. So when is it best for a student to apply? I mean, depending if it's French or international, is that what your answer is going to be?
No, in fact, so if you are French, of course, you have to follow the Parcoursup schedule. But in fact, what we are trying to do is to have a cohort of 70 students next year, and it will be half French and international students. And so what we are trying to do is really to have both application system at the same time. So we will just release all the admission results by the mid of June. But as soon as you are ready to apply, you can do that, because even at the end of the day, even if you want to update a key part of your application package, you can still do that after you submit really the application package. But as soon as you do that, as soon as you're ready, submit the application package, just because in fact we will start to look at your application documents. And it means that if we have additional questions, it could be really useful to have plenty of time to do that.
Perfectly clear. Like you mentioned, you have international students. One thing about this program is that it's entirely taught in English. So you welcome students from all over the world. You're going to have English natives in the classroom, and you're going to have French natives, like you said. Does that mean that I have to be perfectly bilingual in order to apply? And I'm asking you, Fanny, and then I will obviously ask Farah to tell us more about it.
No, what we are asking, so in fact, all the classes are in English. So this is our expectation, is that students also improve their level via courses by attending all the classes. So the requirement is about B2, in fact.
B2, all right. How did it go for you, Farah? Like, was it easy for you to acclimate to the English level of the classroom, or was that a challenge?
No, it was fine. Actually, I had already my C1 level, and everyone in the class had a pretty good level of English. So we used only English during classes, during group projects. So French isn't really required, or our mother tongue isn't really required. So English is basically the most important thing. So it was fine.
Okay, plus English is the business language, so I guess it makes sense to learn it and to master it like very early in your studies. Another thing I've noticed about your program is that the first year program contains a lot of mathematics EU, such as probability, algorithmic, mathematics for business. Do I need a scientific background in order to apply, Fanny?
Not a scientific background, not at all. But the point is that this Bachelor of Science is really kind of a preparation to master degrees, and so finance included. And so the point is that to be sure that they are all able to follow financial classes, because we really want them to be at ease with that and not saying, okay, I'm not good in that, so I can't do that, and I can't do that. We really want them to be able to do what they want to do. So the point is that we really want to avoid failure, because this is just a waste of time for students. And so the point is just to be at ease with the regular curriculum in mathematics. So the mathematics, spécialité mathematics at the baccalaureate, and this is it. We don't ask for more than that.
All right. How did you feel about that, Natalia, coming from Venezuela, I believe? How did you feel about that?
About the level of math?
How was it? Yeah, were you really good at math? Can you tell us your maybe it's a secret, I don't know.
Yes. I had a very good level of English and math in my school, but also the classes that we're having right now are very well explained. The teacher takes the time to explain to us, especially the coming as an international student, we don't have the same mathematic topics as the French baccalaureate, or it may differ in some points, but our teacher takes the time to explain, and it's been very good. It hasn't been an obstacle so far for me or other international students.
All right, thank you very much for speaking for your classmates as well. We still haven't mentioned interviews in the admission process. And Natalia, could you did you have any interview? How did it go?
Yes, because I was not in France by the time of my application, my interview was a pre-recorded interview on a website. Yes, I was not seeing anyone as we're doing right now. It was just me talking to my screen. That was a challenge, but it was very well explained. You had a question, you had I think about a minute to reply, and it was very good. Questions about your backgrounds, and very, very good. It was.
Do you remember one trick question, like the question that surprised you the most? You were like, oh my God, I have 1 minute to answer. What was it?
One question. Why TSM? But
Why
I asked
TSM?
my question. Yes, I asked myself that question several times before applying, so it was good to have it.
Okay, Fanny, maybe you could give us a little bit more details about those interviews. Are they just only pre-recorded ones, whether you're national or international students?
Yes, this is the same thing for all of them, because equity is really the key point of this degree. So they all have the same application process. So this is pre-recorded interview for everyone. And so Natalia is right, in fact. So what we are trying to do, because we know that this is not an easy experience to do that. So what we do is so they have to answer 6 questions, and we communicate 3 questions before that they record the interview, just to give them an insight about what could be the questions. And also some tips. So, for example, Natalia is right. They had last year this question about why TSM. And, in the tips, there is a sentence saying perhaps a good idea could be to check the TSM website before the interview. So,
Okay, so it's the Bachelor is the 3 years program. Do I have to apply in year 1, or can I join the TSM Bachelor in Global Management later?
So the main application pass is before the first year. It's still possible to join in the second and in the third year, but it will be very, very few students. So this is really not the best advice that we can say to a student. It's really better to apply for the first year, because in fact, as we have this international, so first, the degree is even if this is a general undergraduate business program, the focus is quite on sustainability, ethics, and international, of course, topics. And so the point is that, the learning objectives can be a little bit different from a regular bachelor in French. And also students have a mandatory international mobility. So it can be a minimum of 6 months, and it can be up to 29 months. If they accumulate all the options that they have on the table. So if you really want to do those kind of degree, and this one in particular, this is the best idea is to apply for the first year.
Okay, one quick question before we move on to the next part. You mentioned few students would do that. So how many students do you have normally, like in the classroom for the first year?
So this is 46 this year, and for the next year, so this is kind of an incremental process, and so for the next year it will be 70 students, top, max. Okay,
so that just makes me want to ask you another question very quickly. Would you say that the quality, or that the fact that you go from 46 to 70, would the student be like feel like more lonely towards like in front of the class, in front of the teachers, or would the teachers take the exact same care as if it was 46 students?
It will be the same, and I guess it will be even better, because in fact it will have two groups. So this is why we are increasing the number of students. It will have 2 parallel groups. Yeah.
All right, so instead of being 46, you will be 2 times 35. if my math are good. Okay, well,
Yeah, this is it.
thank you very much. Every school has a stereotype, but we're going to dig a little bit closer to the truth and see what lies behind those cliches. All right, so the cliches are about preconception that the three of you might have had before applying or as a teacher at the TSM. What would be the first cliche that comes to your mind, Farah?
The first cliche that comes to my mind is that when I applied for TSM, before arriving to France, I thought that everyone would have backpacks at university, but actually it was not the case.
Yeah, well, was that a relief?
No, because I was used to having backpacks all the time, and then when I arrived, I saw that everyone had like normal bags, but then I adapted myself.
All right, so you can actually say that French people don't all wear backpacks. You can share that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you for the students watching. Natalia, what would be the cliche that comes to your mind?
The cliche I had was that French people do not speak English.
Do they?
But in TSM, everyone at least tries, and they have a very good level as well. So my cliche was not accurate.
Okay, so no backpacks and they can speak English. It's good. Two good points for French students. What about you, Fanny? What would be the cliche that comes to your mind?
I guess that as we are a public school in a university, I guess that students can also have some things that we are a bit messy in the organization and kind of just boring, endless lecture. And so in the case of the Bachelor of Science here in Global Management, I hope this is not the case. This is not what they think about this degree, because we try to have first innovative pedagogy. So this is flipped classroom. So they have to engage. They do not have the choice. They have to work in teams for projects. So this is really engaging teaching materials. And I hope we are not so messy. And I guess that the one proof of that is that if we are looking at the dropout rate during the first semester, we all know that in France it's quite kind of not so good, because this is on average 30% for this dropout rate. And here, for the Bachelor in Management at TSM, this is we are only at 1%. So I guess the teaching environment is a good one.
All right. So once you go to TSM, you never go back. Makes sense. So you mentioned the innovative pedagogy. Could you tell us more about it? What is it exactly? Could you give us more detail about it? It feels like it's a big part of the program.
Yes, it was kind of a huge amount of work before opening the program. What we did, so in fact, first the faculty head of the third year and myself, we graduate from the EFMD Online Teaching Academy. So just to be sure that we have the competencies to do that. So the point is that we just want to avoid the lecture. So they do not have a lecture during this program. So everything is either via clipped classroom. So they have all the teaching materials before that on a learning management system, so online. But then this is on campus. So they have, they have discussion and live session with the faculty. They have a lot of class discussion in the classroom. So this is the first part. And then the second part is that for some courses, they do not have course, basically. They do not have class at all. So this is the case, for example, for the Algorithmic course, and this is also the same thing for the Excel VBA course. So this is just projects. They have to work on project and learn by doing.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Farah, how was it? I mean, you've been through 3 years with that innovative pedagogy. What can you tell about it?
Actually, when I was in the Bachelor, it was only 1 year. So I did only my third year in the Bachelor in International Management. And the first 2 years I was at TSM, but in a French curriculum. But actually, during my third year, I had these innovative methods. The first thing that comes to my mind is TSM Academy. It's a platform where teachers put courses, videos, and interactive things. We can react, for example, on the videos, add comments, ask questions. So it was a way to prepare ourselves before our lectures. So then during the lectures, we could have more interactive sessions.
Okay, well, thank you for giving us those details. So we mentioned like not the 3 years, but it's awake, develop, and accelerate. That's what the 3 years would have been. Fanny, can you walk me through the 3 years of studies and what are the main events within the 3 years?
So basically during the first year, I guess, so this is really the fundamentals of management. So for example, they have this Excel VBA course just to be sure that if they want to do an internship at the end of the first year, they will be able to find an internship. So this is really about their employability. But then the mathematics and the probability course, this is really more about to be sure that they will be able to attend more advanced courses in the second and the third year. So you also have the management science course. So this is really a general first approach to management. So you see in the first year, this is really the bottom line of what is management. But also to be able to apply that knowledge at the end of the first year, they have to do a TSM social impact project. So they will team up for that. And basically the idea is to rely on everything that they will have learned during the first year to create something new together. Then during the second year, it will be the emphasis is more about innovation, entrepreneurship, and also the first course of strategy. And also the kind of the leadership skills that you need to have to be able to create change in an organization. And so at the end of the second year, again, they will have to work on the project. And in that case, this is the TSM Green Entrepreneurship Project. Also, they will team up. And so the emphasis is more about management and the creation of a business. And during the last year, so what they will have to do is that, so it will be just one semester of course. And then during the last semester, they will be able to do this final internship. And so this is it, mainly the curriculum structure. And of course, in the last year, this is really some kind of advanced courses to be sure that they have responsible managerial, entrepreneurial, and digital skills.
Right, very, very clear. Farah, I want to ask you a trick question. It's not an easy one, and I know your teachers are watching, but I'm sure you can do something about it. I mean, you've been through, not through the 3 years, but you've been through a whole year. What was, because now that we know, like, it sounds amazing when you listen to everything that has been said. So what was your least favorite part so far?
My least favorite part is that I had the whole year online because of the sanitary crisis. So I didn't get to meet the people that were with me and my teachers and everything. So that was my least favorite part. But like now it's not online anymore. So.
Okay, so what needed to be changed has been changed. So now there's nothing to be changed about TSM anymore. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, because honestly, it was very good. The whole year was very, very well planified and everything. So I think it was only the online part.
Okay, also Farah, you mentioned the TSM Academy. I mean, a phrase catch my attention on the website. It said that your students will learn outside the classroom. I mean, normally it's hard to make students work inside the classroom, but outside the classroom. I was really wondering, how do you encourage students to work and to learn outside the classroom? So I'm asking you, Fanny, and then maybe Farah, you can give me like exactly how it happened.
Okay. So it will be, I guess the Farah answer will be different than mine, in fact. So if you think about the curriculum of the first year, it's kind of fundamental management. So it's nothing very, funny to learn. So we try to, I have to be honest, this is kind of mathematics, probability, finance, and so on and so forth. So we try to give them a space to develop what they want to be and what they would like to become. So this is not a course at TSM. So for example, let's just take me an example. If your passion is about video games, you have here two different options. The first one is, okay, this is just a passion, and in that case, you will have to work on that and explain why it's important for you. But you will have to do that in a creative way. So we don't want a report. I really don't want that. So they will have to do interviews, podcast, video, short film about that. What is it, and why this is important for them. And then the second option is still you still have this passion for video games, but you say perhaps I would like to work in this industrial sector. And so in that case, what you can do during this time is also to try to collect information about what are the financial constraints, what are the human resource constraints, what are the organization of this industrial sector. And again, via interview, it could also be a very short professional experience. And you will have to communicate that via this creative output. So again, podcast, video, blogs, or whatever. But so this is it. This is just to give them a space to work on their passion and what they would like to be.
And express themselves. So Farah, what would be your answer? Because apparently Fanny said your answers would be very different from hers. Tell us.
For me, learning outside of the classroom was mainly done through the innovative evaluation methods. Because, for example, in many courses, we had to do interviews with people. We had to create videos, film ourselves. So, for example, there was a class, we had to prepare a pitch to pitch ourselves as if we are in an interview. So actually, when the evaluation methods are not like the traditional one and they are more a bit fun, this helps us to explore more than what we just take in class. Interviewing people gives us more insight about the real business world. So that's how I think we learn outside of class.
Okay, well, that's a different answer, and that's very clear as well. Fanny, very quickly, very briefly about opportunities. I mean, what kind of job opportunities can one expect after obtaining a bachelor? I mean, maybe you will encourage them to go for a 4th and 5th year, or just the 3 years are enough already?
It could be. So this is really. So our objective is really to have a preparation toward a master. So this is what really we want to do. Of course, if they want to stop, because they will have a lot of managerial and digital skills. So I guess they will be able to apply and find a job after the bachelor. Some of them are doing that already. And some of them also, I know that some students in the first year of the bachelor this year, for example, they want to create their own business. They are already very clear about that. So basically, they can do what they want because we try to give them the skills and the knowledge if they want to find a job right after the bachelor. But in our mind, the curriculum of the bachelor is really more about a preparation toward a master degree.
All right, a TSM master or any master?
Any master, basically. Of course, we will be very happy if they stay at TSM, but some of them already applied in international school and were hired at international schools. So this is really up to them.
Well,
we don't attach them on the campus.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a good thing to know in case our parents were a bit frightened of that as well with backpacks. Natalia, I have one question for you. It's about the student life. Are you part of the students' organizations?
I am part of the more into sports organization. Okay. I practice run and feed at school.
Okay, and how would you describe the student life, the atmosphere? I mean, Farah said that it was online, so I guess she had less of a taste of it. Now that you are not online, how would you describe it?
So far, I'm finding it very good. People is very welcome, like the student society. They both speak French and English, and they try to feel everyone welcome. And so far, I'm finding it very, very good that you have many activities to do at the university: cultural activities, sport activities, parties. You can, whatever you like the most, you can be part of it and feel as a real TSM student, even though you've been here for a month.
Okay,
like
well,
me.
that's, yeah, obviously, yeah, that's what I was asking. And one last question. You come from Venezuela, you arrive in France, it's Toulouse. How is Toulouse so far?
Toulouse is incredible. I'm loving it. The sunsets are incredible.
Okay, well then, so no backpacks, English speaker, and good sunsets. I mean, that's a sell right there. That's a wrap. One last question for you, Fanny, and then we're going to head to extra time. because we're running out of it. Do you offer any virtual visit of the school for students, and how can they get in contact with you?
So first, I have a Twitter account. So if they want to ask a direct question, they can contact me via Twitter. And so this is the easy Fanny de Klerk. So it's easy to find me. And it will be my pleasure to answer their questions. And I think it was your question.
It was.
Yeah, I know.
It was.
Yeah. We will also have webinars if they want to ask additional questions. We will have online webinars in this November and December. And we will also have an opening evening in November and an open day in February.
Oh, well, thank you for all those indications. Time flies and we only have 2 minutes left. It's time to head to extra time. So in extra time, you're going to have 2 minutes. I will give you a bit of time to each one of you to tell us one last thing, the last sentence, the last words you want to tell us, something that hasn't been said, or on the contrary, something that you want to emphasize. We'll start with you, Natalia.
I want to emphasize about the team group that we also have in the classroom. As is in an inverted classroom, we prepare ourselves first. And I think that encouraged to be a group team. Apart from being classrooms, we work together, and they also help you a lot to achieve the goal we all have in common. And I'm really glad of that with my classmates as well.
Well, a very, very powerful statement. Farah, what do you want us to know?
I would like to emphasize on the international dimension in the bachelor's degree, because I think this is one of the most, like, the best part in the bachelor's degree, because you get to meet people from all around the world, and I think this is a very good experience that you don't really get everywhere. So this is the most important thing for me, is to enjoy the international dimension and meeting people from everywhere.
All right, so TSM allows you to express yourself, to be international. Fanny, what else?
Perhaps something that we speak just a bit about, this is the professional experience. So this is a bachelor, but at the university. But in fact, it's compulsory for them to have this professional experience when they graduate from the degree. So we are not asking for work experience before entering the degree, but during the degree, they will have the opportunity to accumulate 19 months of professional experience. So this is really a very important part for them also, just to be sure that, so they will learn theoretical knowledge, they will apply that during the courses, but then they will be able also to apply that within a company.
Perfectly clear. Thank you, Fanny, for answering all my questions. Thank you, Natalia, as well. And thank you, Farah. Thanks to the three of you. So TSM, it's about international, it's about not wearing backpacks as well, and allowing yourself to be yourself, to express yourself in some way. For the people watching, I hope to see you soon on Campus Chanel, and I hope you had a good time.